Hey guys, Chris here, and I'm a Ukrainian Canadian. Today is September 21st, 2024, and let's get to the news and updates happening in Ukraine and Russia, shall we? Let's talk about massive explosions and detonations in Russia in the past week. Today, I share with you guys this image of another ammunition depot being destroyed by the Ukrainian forces. This time, this was in Krasnodar, so south of Russia. This is really important because this is one of the most important ammunition depots that Russia has in the small city, I guess, of Tikhoretsk in Krasnodar. Right beside Tikhoretsk, there is also a military airfield, and the Ukrainians overnight successfully obliterated, vaporized this entire ammunition depot, and as you can see based on satellite images, the airfield is also on fire. There could be also some jet fighters that were destroyed as a result of this. So in the past week alone, Ukraine has successfully destroyed 3 ammunition depots. There's another ammunition depot that Ukraine destroyed today, and you guys might be familiar because a few days ago, Toropets, another ammunition depot that was destroyed by the Ukrainians in Tver, which I've talked about in my previous video. Well, not too far away from it, there is another ammunition depot in Oktyabrski. So just to give you guys an idea of where these ammunition depots are, so we have more of an idea, let me show you on the map. So let's go to the map and let's take a look first at the Tikhoretsk. So Tikhoretsk is located right around here. You can see this is in Krasnodar. So certainly the Russians were utilizing this ammunition depot to then do operations, air operations in Donbass, dump glide bombs, missiles, etc. on Ukrainian positions. But you can see the sheer concentration of Russian military airfields in this specific area. There's many of them, so there's a lot of work left to do here. But it just shows that the Ukrainians have those capabilities right now to destroy and obliterate Russian military airfields and also depots. Extremely important. So this is where it is located. So this is an excellent strike, about 450 kilometers away from the front line. So quite far. And in Tver, I shared this information with you guys in my previous video, but the Toropets, which is a far more significant ammunition depot that was destroyed by the Ukrainians a few days ago, which is located right around here. I mentioned that this was one of the most modern ammunition depots that Russia has, or had, I should say, because everything's been destroyed. And according to Estonian intelligence, they mentioned that Russia kept about 3 months worth of ammunition here. Missiles, shells, small arms ammunition. This is a lot of ammunition, and especially knowing the Russians and the quantities that they use per day in terms of shelling the Ukrainian positions. This is very significant, severely weakening Russia's northern operation capabilities. But today, not only this ammunition depot is still on fire in Toropets, but about 15 kilometers south in the village of Oktyabrski, there's another ammunition dump here that the Ukrainians successfully struck. NASA satellite imagery is confirming as well that this entire ammunition depot is on fire. So overall, just excellent strikes by the Ukrainians. Ukraine understands the importance of doing this because Russia will continue and wage a very, very destructive winter campaign against Ukraine infrastructure, but also their own military operations need to be stopped in the winter. And so you can see that Ukraine is really prioritizing right now on all of these ammunition depots specifically. So let's hope that more of them go on fire the next few weeks. And could it be the Palyannitsas? There are some rumors that the Ukrainians have started utilizing them against these very, very important targets. So hopefully Ukraine can start producing more and more of them to destroy all of the ammunition depots, military airfields within a 300, 400 kilometer range from the Ukrainian borders. That is going to be very important because that's going to weaken the Russian offensive for this upcoming winter and might bring it to a halt. So that is really important. So let's go back to the slides because, of course, one last thing I want to mention is that the Russians just simply love saying that this was a result of debris. So just kind of my 2 cents about that. I think Ukraine should just rename its UAVs Oblomke, meaning it's a translation to debris, because clearly, the Russians are trying to not lose face here by saying that this was actually a Ukrainian drone that successfully struck our military base or our ammunition depot. Well, this is just debris. Falling debris is always the excuse that Russia is utilizing. So I thought that was kind of funny, and maybe Ukraine should just rename all of its UAVs and weapons debris. Additionally, another thing on fire in Russia, which we like, is the PMC Wagner base in Molkino, also in Krasnodar. Now, it's unknown if this was also the result of a Ukraine UAV attack or maybe sabotage, but it's also good to see that Russian PMC Wagner, the terrorist group, and their bases are on fire today. According to information, these are their administrative buildings and also their former headquarters. We know that PMC Wagner doesn't hold as much weight as they used to last year, but either way, it's good to see that their admin buildings are on fire. A lot of documentation, perhaps salaries, other important intel is completely obliterated, on fire, so we like to see that. So let's hope for more. And last but not least, a very quick update today, guys, but I need to talk about the great exploits of the Ukrainian 46th Air Mobile Brigade in Kurakhove. Almost on a weekly basis, these guys are sharing us, these brave men and women are sharing fantastic videos and images of destroyed Russian columns. And today, the 46th Brigade shared with us another great video of them repelling a massive Russian assault again. They utilized, according to their information, 52 armored vehicles, which was supported also by aviation. And then you guys understand the importance of destroying these ammunition depots. Russia's also utilizing these depots to store massive quantities of FAB glide bombs, which are very problematic for the Ukrainians. This is a weapon that is impossible to stop. The only way you can stop it is by killing the archer, right? So Ukraine absolutely needs to continuously destroy these depots, but they have been very problematic. However, even with that, the 46th Mobile Brigade was able to repel this attack by destroying 26 combat vehicles out of 52. So they mentioned that 8 tanks and IFVs were lost, 4 armored personnel carriers, 1 MTLB, and other equipment as a result of this offensive that the Russians conducted, and 72 Russian soldiers were either dead or injured as a result of this. So masterful work by the 46th Brigade, and this is an example that they're setting for many other brigades in other front lines in Ukraine, right? There's some struggle in Pokrovsk, in Chasiv Yar, in Vuhledar, but the 46th Brigade has been really holding Kurakhove really strong and tight, which is heroic and absolutely unheard of. And let me show you guys on the map, just so you have an idea where Kurakhove is. It's literally beside Pokrovsk, so between Pokrovsk and Vuhledar. So this is kind of this is the punch of the Russian offensive right now. This is where they're trying to push as hard as possible. And Kurakhove is right around here. So yes, the Russians have gained a little bit in this direction, but the 46th Brigade has been holding really strong this entire area. Part of it is because of good natural defenses. You can see that there is a massive reservoir and there's one direct road which leads into Kurakhove. So the Russians are constantly taking the same road here. Perhaps they're also taking the secondary road here towards Maximilianivka. But either way, they don't have a lot of options here. So that also allows this brigade to effectively defend with the terrain advantages that they have. But overall, you guys can see that the Russians are going to continue pushing. They're doing everything possible right now. They know that the momentum is still to their advantage. And, Ukraine is really focusing on weakening their momentum by destroying all of these depots, these airfields that they have in Krasnodar and Rostov. So we should be expecting in the next few weeks/months a lot more intense UAV attacks and missile attacks, perhaps by the Ukrainians in this specific direction, because you can see the sheer concentration, military concentration that Russia has, especially in Krasnodar. This is all military airfields. So let's hope for more activity here. And you can see also the railway connections that the Russians have towards Donbass, right? So all of this to say that this is why Russia is so effective right now in continuing with its momentum in especially in Pokrovsk. So that's the video for today, guys. Really happy to see all these depots on fire, all these administrative and headquarters of the PMC Wagner forces on fire as well, and let's hope for more of that. So thank you for your support. Please subscribe to my channel, like my video, leave me a comment about the topics I covered today, and Slava Ukraini!